Let me know if this has ever happened to you. You practice the song for days, for weeks, months, and you get it to a point where it feels pretty good. And you think, I'm ready to play this song in front of another living human being. So you invite your friend over or your grandma, and you want to play for them. Before you play for them, you feel kind of nervous, not too bad, but mostly you feel good. So you sit down at the piano, you look over at grandma, and you can see she's so proud of you. And so you begin playing. And it sucks. It's a train wreck. Nothing like you just played it 5 minutes ago, before anyone else was in the room. So why does this happen? How could you feel so ready to play a song for someone and then have it go so badly? If this has happened to you, and be honest, if you're a musician, it probably has. If this has happened to you, stick around. We're going to talk about how to know when you're actually ready to play in public. So we've got to understand the stages of learning to understand what went so wrong when we played for grandma. According to me, there are 4 stages that we go through when learning a song, and I like to compare it with our life cycle. So stage 1 is the baby stage. In this stage, everything is completely new and everything blows your mind. You have to work to figure out every single thing. Just think of a baby trying to feed himself. He can't even really find his mouth. So you can see how this relates to learning a new song. You have to figure out every single note and rhythm and hand position change, and you can't even think about making it sound good or musical yet. So in other words, this is the figuring it all out stage. Stage 2 is everybody's favorite, the puberty stage. You're now able to feed yourself, so well done, but you still cry sometimes. You're kind of a baby still, just bigger. When learning a new song, this stage is when you can finally play from the beginning to the end, but probably with a lot of stops and starts, botched notes and rhythms, and definitely not at your final tempo. And your brain still feels like it's working very, very hard to get through the song. Stage 3 is the older adolescent stage. Now you look like an adult, but you still make questionable choices. You stay out too late, you cram for tests, you eat only cheese for 2 days straight, you don't plan ahead. By the way, I know this is a stereotype. I know many responsible, respectable youth. This is just for educational purposes. So you look like an adult, but not in the brain. This means that you can play through your song pretty well from beginning to end. It's really starting to sound like music. You don't have to think so hard when playing. It comes more naturally and smoothly. You're starting to take that song and make it your own. However, just as the stereotypical adolescent has a tendency to really screw up a lot, the littlest distraction or loss of focus can really derail your playing. So this is a key moment. This is when we often fool ourselves as pianists, because from here, as an older adolescent, we can look back at ourselves when we were a baby, and we see how far we've come. But what we forget is that we are still prone to make mistakes. But we start to kind of close our eyes to them, and when we play, we make a small mistake. We just think it's not a big deal, so we move on. We forget that we made that mistake. And because we're forgetting our mistakes, we think we're ready to play for grandma, but we're not. And this brings us to stage 4, adulthood. Congratulations, you are now self-aware. You are mature enough to recognize and fix your mistakes until they are there no longer. You are responsible enough to go to work, wash the dishes, feed the dog, maybe even care for another human, even when you don't feel like it. You are doing the things needed for a happy, successful life. So to tie this in with piano, this is when you can play through your piece basically without any mistakes. More times than not, you're able to play through a piece correctly. And this is when you're ready. You're ready to play for grandma. So how can we make sure we've reached adulthood? Well, there are a couple of simple ways to test if you're ready to play for others. First, set up some fake humans. For me, I set up my kitties and they'd silently judge me as I play. This sounds silly, but it really does make a difference. It feels like someone is watching and it takes you from the comfort of your piano area and it makes you feel a little bit more exposed. Second, record yourself. This is an amazing tool. You can easily record yourself on video or just do voice memo. And just knowing that someone being you is going to listen back to your playing makes you feel a little more self-conscious and aware. Not in a bad way, just in a way that somewhat imitates playing in front of another person. And then when you listen back, you may hear some things that you want to fix that you didn't hear before. So it's a good learning tool as well. If you can successfully record yourself multiple times, it's a good indicator that you're ready to play in front of another person. Now, for recitals or competitions or something more serious and formal, there's really another stage of learning that you need, like adult, senior, or geriatric or something. These tests today let you know you're ready to play in a casual public environment, like at a party. Definitely use these tests to see if you're ready for grandma, because I don't want to see you work hard and then have it fall flat. You can do this. Keep practicing and I'll see you at your next lesson.